Hello, everyone. Today I'd like to talk about something that we say to our children all the time. From early childhood, we as children hear from our parents and everyone around us that we can be whatever we want to be. When parents ask us, or when adults ask us, what would you like to be when you grow up? We say astronaut, doctor, lawyer, dancer, movie star, and we say, yay, that's great. If you put your mind to it, you can do it. But let's stop and think about that, because is that really true? And when we tell people that they can do anything they put their mind to, are we really setting them up for success, or are we setting them up for failure? And the reason I ask is because no matter how hard we try and no matter how much we learn, not everybody can do anything or be anything. And that is the reality of life. So when we say to somebody that they just need to work harder, and they just need to put more effort into it, that may not necessarily be true. And so let's take a different approach. Let's look at it in a way that if we can cultivate their natural skills, if we can look at what they naturally gravitate to, so what they enjoy doing, coupled with what they are good at, then maybe we can steer them in the right direction to work towards something that they would be able to succeed at. Because let's face it, not everybody can do anything. There are certain things that cannot be taught and certain things that cannot be learned. And unfortunately, we have been in a society that does promote put your mind to it and you can do it, but that is not what most people can do, and that is not a realistic approach to, number one, raising your children, but also in other settings. So whether it's at school, whether it's at work, not every student can reach the 90s, and not every employee can reach standards that are set to them by their employer, because they have limitations. We all have limitations. So what are we really doing? Are we helping or are we hindering? So let's not put stumbling blocks, and let's take it back down to earth, and let's really focus on how we can help a child develop the skills that they need in order to meet their goals. And that can be from, something in early childhood, where they're learning how to read or how to write. Let's lower those expectations for them so that they can achieve smaller goals. And then once they pass those hurdles, they can move on to the next challenging thing. Because once you give them small successes, those small successes will lead them to want to do better, will lead them and motivate them to want to reach more. And then that way, they can really go inside themselves and pull all of those things together that will allow them to have that push and that momentum for the next thing. And the same thing with school. They do have grades, and they do have levels in certain grades, so that you are able to focus at your own level. So I don't know what they call it these days, but back in the day it was like basic, average, and advanced. And so depending on what level you're at, you can learn at your own pace and with people who are the same as you. Because what happens when we put a classroom of students who are learning at different levels, and some of them have learning disabilities, they are comparing themselves and they are being compared to their peers. And so that really, number one, sets them up for certain failure for sure, because they're never going to live up to somebody who excels at everything. And number two, it gives them that feeling that no matter how hard I try, I'm not going to do that well anyway, so why bother? And we never want to destroy someone's confidence, and we always want to give them the opportunity to be able to be good at their level and within their peer group that are also at the same level. And again, that goes for the workforce as well. When you hire somebody, you have to really look at their qualifications and you have to look at their experience, and don't expect the unattainable, and don't expect what cannot be reached. If you cannot teach it to them, if they cannot be trained to meet your expectations, then why are you setting them up for that? If you know that they don't have that one skill that will allow them to reach that goal, then invest in their education, invest in their development, and send them to a course. You can promote certain things. You can have certain incentives at work that you can provide for them, and really work with your employee to be able to get them to where you need them to be. And if it doesn't work, then maybe you can find an alternative solution. So pair them up with a buddy, or get them somebody who can teach it to them where they can understand. But I think it's unrealistic to expect something of someone that they're not capable of giving or doing. And so that is something that I wanted to focus on today. I was really happy to hear that, certain people are not saying that to their kids, that no, you cannot do anything you want and you cannot be anything you want because you're not good at this. You may not be able to do that math. You may not be able to sing that well. And yes, some things can be taught, and yes, some things can be learned, but not everything. We all have specific talents and gifts, and we have to find those talents and gifts. We have to really see, especially with kids, what they're good at, what they gravitate towards, how we can help them. So if we put them in extracurricular activities, you can try a different series of things and see what it is that they like and what it is that they're good at, and then go from there. Same thing with school. So you can have a close relationship with the teachers and the administration to see where your child is struggling and where they're excelling, and then work on those points and towards something in that direction. Because it's unfair of us to set high expectations, or to provide high expectations of the child or whomever that they are unable to attain. So those are my thoughts for today. Let me know what you think. Put it down in the comments, and see where, if we can get a discussion going. So for now, have a wonderful rest of the day, and we'll see you soon.